There was a time where you had Harry Oh My, C4, Punisher, Carl, who he turned into something else. I'll tell you the name that he donned a little later on in the story. And of course, everybody's favorite, Bama, Bang Bang. Let's just call him that for right now. There was a time where all of them were in the same pile, people, and they used to commit devilish, devious acts. I won't even call them crimes. I'm going to call them sins. The things that they used to do to people are ungodly. Anybody's God. These men tortured and just humiliated inmates. Younger, weaker, smaller inmates. And not just by color, y'all. It didn't matter to them if they was white, black. If they was thrown to the wolves, they was thrown to the wolves. Plenty of gangs have thrown their own members to the wolves when they get put off the set. As a matter of fact, that's customary in a lot of jails, people. You get DP'd. After a certain amount of time of getting DP'd, that's discipline, y'all. They not fitting to put up with your nonsense no more. You getting put off the set, homie. And that mean you ain't got no love here. We not protecting you. We throwing you to the wolves. Well, all of these guys I just named, they're not small guys. Just because they punks don't mean they small guys. Now, people, that brings me to one topic I want to touch on first before I get into this story. All of these guys, C4, Punisher, Carl, Bama Bang Bang, all of these guys, Harry Oh My, I didn't like none of them. I didn't like what they stood for. I didn't like them as people. I didn't even like them as human beings. I thought they were some of the vilest people walking this earth. And somebody should have been dealt with them. But here we are, people. All stuck in the same box together. So, I got a question for y'all in the comment box, y'all. For me, there is no difference. But I need to know what y'all think. Now, to me, what is the difference between a chomo and a booty bandit? Because there's 17-year-old and 16-year-old boys in jail. And just because you a booty bandit and you not gay supposedly makes it okay? What makes you any different from a chomo? Nah, ain't no difference. You and a chomo the same thing. A punk that need to get dealt with. I don't care if you a 300-pound punk. You're still a punk. The same lane as a chomo. Don't get it twisted, people. You don't get no respect in prison being a booty buster. Somebody just need to deal with you, that's all. Now, what do you think happens when you got a whole pod full of booty busters? They turn it into a game. These people, man, they would actually sit there in the day room and converse. You walk by, you liable to hear the craziest stories coming out of their mouths. They conversing about what they done to somebody in the cell the night before. Or what they done, they caught somebody slipping in the shower. And people don't tell on them, obviously, because they still here. Ain't nobody doing nothing to them. People must be scared of them. The only ones they don't mess with is the ones that stand up for themselves and the ones that's down with a gang. So again, people, you got to pick your poison in prison. Are you going to be a booty buster? Are you going to get down with a gang? Are you going to fly neutral and take your chances? Or are you going to push that blade? Are you going to fight back? Or are you just going to sit there and give your booty up? These are things y'all got to think about, young people, when you decide to commit crime and go to jail. Yeah, Crime happens in jail, and crime will happen to you. I'm telling you, people, you don't want to get locked up in the wrong pod where you have no choice but to live around these monsters. Now let's get into it, y'all. So, I could have told this story a while ago, but I wanted to first tell individual stories on each one of these monsters, which I have. If you go back and check, there's a video about Harry O'Mine, there's a video about C4, there's a video about Punisher, and there's a video about Booty Bama Bang Bang. There is also a short video about Carl, but this story right here will help y'all see how Carl turned into the monster he turned into. And you'll get a better understanding of how this little gang, you could call them, the five of them together, had to be disbanded, broken up, separated, because of the mayhem they were causing. Now, generally, when young people, or maybe even anybody, goes to jail or know they're going to jail, that fear is already in your head. What happens? The things you've seen on TV and movies and whatever people might say to you, people that haven't even been there before be telling you it's crazy in there and they don't even know. But, you know, all these things are happening. Then you go through the whole process of getting to the county. You get more information. Could be good, could be bad. And you're learning. You're soaking stuff up like a sponge through this whole process. You go to the processing center where they figure you out. Who are you? How many points you got? What prison we're going to send you to? Excuse me, people. How bad was your crime? Sometimes it doesn't matter how many points you got. And if it's your first time down, if you unalive somebody, you're not going to a camp. You're not going to a minimum. More than likely, you're going to a maximum if you unalive somebody. Yeah, and that's just the breaks. Even if it was a mistake, you're probably going to end up in a max. And you're going to have to work your way down to a minimum, which could prove to be hard to do in a max. You are going to have to defend yourself in a max, for sure. All right, people. So these young guys come in and they have no clue, honestly, what they're getting themselves into. Jail and prison are different. The county jail, you know, they have some pods, I think, in the county. I've never been in a pod in the county. It's always been a 2 or 3 man cell, which sucks. Sharing cells sucks, first of all. If you're going to have a cell, it's better off to be by yourself. That way you don't got to sleep half awake. You can never really fully sleep in jail or prison. You got to keep one eye half open. That's just the breaks. Or you can get beat down, robbed, and worse. So, the 4 of these inmates, they would run a cold game. They would sit there in the day room and converse about who they did what to, when they did it, where they did it, and how they did it. Here's where the game came in, y'all. It started to be how many times. Because normally, you know, they would be able to get it off once, and that person to hit the gate and run and say they scared for their life and this and that. And, you know, they have to find a new victim. Well, this happens more commonly than you think, y'all. And I'm not going to put the gangs out here that I've seen this happen with. I don't know if it was sanctioned or not, but there are in jail undercover brothers. Yep, that's right. You got some gang members that are scared. Even though they're in the gang, they know their gang will never accept them and look at them the same. Even if they go to them and tell them, hey, listen, man, I wasn't with it. He raped me. He raped me in the shower and overpowered me, blah, blah, blah. They still not going to be with it. They're going to beat you down, call you a sissy, and kick you off the set. So Instead of telling, they live with it, y'all. Now, they can't just up and hit the gate and say, hey, I want to move to another pod. Your homie's going to be like, hey, what you mean? Where you going? Where you going, cuz? Where you going, blood? Man, we out here. Where you going, yo? Nah, ain't no running. So, what that meant was these guys were preying on gang members, y'all. Now, we're talking about the Punisher. C4. He's a gang member himself, y'all. And if y'all seen the other video, y'all know what gang he belonged to. Yeah, y'all. These dudes didn't play. Booty Bama Bang Bang. 300 plus pounds. This dude was not playing. If he got you alone, he got you. He did the same mess that, what's that dude that they made fun of on Boondocks? Fleece. I like you, I want you, and I got to have you. And it wasn't no talking. He ain't want to hear no talking. So now they tallying up how many times they could grape the same inmate. Yeah, y'all. It's a game. They got these young boys running scared. They trembling in the mess hall line, standing around any of these fools, because they don't know what could happen to them. If they try and go and run and tell. And if they try and fight back for their manhood, well, they probably gonna get swept on the floor like a mop or a broom. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do, young blood, young cuz? You gonna go back the next night for more abuse, more of that punishment, more of that booty bama bang bang. Yeah. So now you got to either tell or live with it. You gonna live with it? You gonna fight back? You gonna pick up that blade and push it? Or you just gonna go out like some buster? Unfortunately, y'all, a lot of these young boys go out like some busters. Yep. They go out like some busters. They bend over. And, well, without being too graphic on YouTube, y'all already know what happens. So, you could say these guys, they knew exactly what they were doing. They were running the penitentiary, y'all. Because now, they didn't just stay in their own pod. Oh, no. If they got word that something that they liked was on another side of the jail, they'll sneak on over there. Just like anybody else, they'll sneak on over there. And these guys, they was ruthless, y'all. They wouldn't just, they wouldn't just take it. Well, they would just take it, but they would actually get friendly with you and act nice. They'd give you candy bars and honey buns and soups and, hey, you good over there? You good? Yeah, we gotta take care of each other, man. You good? Hey, don't worry about it. When I need something, I'm gonna holler at you. And then, alright, so obviously one or two of these dudes told. That's another story. I'm trying to save that story for another day, but one or two of these gang members told their gang what happened. You're going to have to listen to that video when I make it to find out what happened with that situation. But that is where this story comes from. And the things that these dudes said, these guys would say, like whisper in their ear when they doing their thing. Oh my gosh. You talk about demon time. This dude said the Punisher got behind him and said, I need that favor back. I'm going to take it out your you-know-what. He put his hand over his mouth and said, you better not scream. You better not scream. Before he finished saying scream, y'all, he done. Dude almost died. At least he thought he did, because that's how bad it hurt, he said. And he cried. And all he could do was cry and cry. Because if he screamed, he knew what was going to happen. So, we're going to get into that in another video, y'all. Alright, y'all. So, back on topic. Y'all got to stop that. Anyway, so the dude that told me, you know, what happened to him, he told everybody else what happened to him, he was punished. Meaning, the Punisher crushed him. Like, you know, Big Pun would say, Big Punisher, don't punish me no more. Yeah. He got punished. This dude told us he got punished 7 times, people. Now, I'm not exactly sure of the exact number, the other inmates that were assaulted, how many times they were each assaulted, because there was only 2 people that came forward. One I just told you that was assaulted by the Punisher, and another you'll find out in the other video. But supposedly the Punisher was the winner of that little bet. It was betting for commissary, y'all. He raped dude 7 times in a row. And dude didn't tell. That was before he hit the gate and all that shit. So, now, that bet is over. They got a new game they gonna play. Yeah, they like, you know that old dude in Saw? The sick games he used to play? That's kind of like what these guys are. These guys are bad. So, now, they said, everybody on the team gotta bring somebody through to get great. What that mean? All 5 of them. They gonna go in, y'all. And this is kind of crazy to say team up like they some kind of superheroes. Nah, they some villains. Super villains. Super booty bandits. Can you imagine this, y'all? A whole team of booty bandits running through a prison, 300 plus pounds, ain't scared of nothing. They ain't scared of no blades. They ain't scared of no, bats and clubs, and you can throw TVs at them and all that. They ain't scared of getting hit upside their head. Oh yeah, they like that. I told y'all before, these booty bandits have no soul. And they want your soul. Now, each one of them are tasked to find somebody to grape. And they, all 5 of them, gonna gang grape them. That's the plan, y'all. And they want to see how many people can they bring to the table each. First person to get 10 inmates wins the pot. And they got a big pot going between themselves, y'all. You talking soups and cosmetics and everything you could possibly want. Soda and Jack Mac. And they got plenty of coffee and cigarettes and roll-ups. Anything you want, people. Booty Bama Bang Bang, he love a good competition. He like, man, I'm out the door. He on the hunt. He is on the prowl. Now, they go into other pods. They trying to recruit boys. Anybody that, cause see now, they ain't say how it had to happen. They looking for somebody that's gonna let them do it. So the easiest thing for them was to go find some boys. They looking all over the jail for as many boys as they could find that's willing to get gang raped. And they gonna break them off a little bit of their commissary when they win. Now, if they lose, then they gonna owe the punk some commissary. If they pay them or not, that's gonna be up to them. They might just unalive them. I don't know. I don't know how that world goes, y'all, but it's really, really weird. So, they found what they was looking for. They found Cinnamon and Seduction. They found Tangerine. They found a whole bunch of other boys up in that prison. But they ain't found enough. They still needed more. Each one of them had at least 3 or 4 boys each. But that wasn't enough. Now, what you think these men is taking up in there? These are some sexual predators, y'all. Either that or they have the sex drive of like Arnold Schwarzenegger on crack. Pardon me, YouTube. They going through about 10 boys a night. Easy. They got to be having the CO's got to be bringing them Viagra or something. Something got to be going on. I don't know. These guys must be taking steroids in prison. That does happen too, y'all. It's not, a good thing because you can't keep it up. And when you stop it, you start to get flabby and sick, all that. But I've seen it happen, though. Anything can happen in prison. I've seen so many things in prison, y'all, is not funny. Well, some of them are funny. But things can happen. I've seen correction officers get fired for bringing stuff in. I've seen female correction officers get fired for doing a little extra. I've seen people. You just gotta watch the videos so you could understand and go through it with me. I'm gonna take y'all back to a time where there were no rules. This was Gotham City. Yeah, y'all. Ruthless. And there's a whole bunch of jokers running around. The penitentiary ain't for the weak. Y'all remember that. Whenever y'all think about doing a crime, y'all think about Booty, Bama, Bang, Bang. Y'all think about Punisher. Y'all think about Harry, oh my. Yeah, y'all. Think about C4. Think about all the victims y'all done heard about so far. These are real people, y'all. I might make it sound good, but these are real people I'm talking about, y'all. And some of these people are home. A lot of them are still down. So, I'll give y'all an example of a guy that's home right now. And this was a separate incident, aside from this story right here, but it involved Harry Oh My. Harry Oh My is a ruthless savage. He don't care if you're tall, skinny, fat, short. He don't care where you're from. He don't care what you are. He will beat you down and take what he wants from you. And say, well, if you in his cell, I think I said it before, that's almost like getting a death sentence. Because you would rather die than live in a cell with that man. He gonna make you sit down to pee. He gonna give you all types of crazy rules. He gonna make you shine his boots, clean his underwear. He might not even take the underwear off when he tells you to clean them. Yeah, y'all. Harry Oh My is a monster. The things that dreams are made of. Bad dreams. So if you're in a cell with Harry Oh My, chances are you're not going to survive the first night. Harry, from the rip, is going to punch you dead in your face and tell you what it is. And if you let him, well, you already know. So that's what happened to this young guy. Let's say for his sake, I'm not going to say his real name, but this cat was from New Jersey. And I didn't know him on the streets and nothing like that. But he was down here for some reason. He got cased up. Something similar to what I did. Let's say his name was Jax. Light-skinned fellow. He was black and Puerto Rican mixed, but on the lighter side. So the black people didn't really rock with him too tough. And the Spanish people didn't either because he couldn't speak Spanish and he didn't really look like them. So he was kind of tossed up, literally. He ended up in a cell with Harry Oh My. Now, word would have it, this guy went in the cell and tried to be tough. He thought he was a gangster on the streets. This guy was probably about 120 pounds. And as far as I knew, he couldn't really fight. He was just a weird looking dude. He went in there and tried to break fly on Harry like, yo, I got that bottom bunk. Harry said, alright, no problem. So Harry took his stuff off the bottom bunk and he put it on the top. Jax put all his stuff on the bottom bunk, slid his stuff under it in the bottom, and then he went to lay down. Now this was Jack's first time in jail, from what I'm understanding. And one of the cardinal rules in prison is you never lie on your stomach. This ain't no country club. You ain't on vacation. You ain't out on the beach catching a tan on your back. Man, Harry put the white sheet up. He ain't even noticed. Jax ain't even noticed. Harry done tied the white sheet up. He got it across where you can't look through the front bars of the cell. He jumped down there on that bunk, got behind Jax, knocked him cold out. Boom! One punch, y'all. He pulled his pants down and had his way with him. And they said he had Jax in there for a long time. They was locked in there for a long, long time. And rumor was that, well, Jax came out of there liking it. And he kept coming back for that pipe. Until finally Harry had to get rid of him. He said, nah, I need something new, man. You used up. I need something new. You're going to have to get out of my cell. Tell him you can't live here. Tell him you can't live here. I'm going to beat your ass. And well, that's what happened. They sent Jax to, I don't know where. I never seen him again. They sent him somewhere. And that was that, y'all. So to finish this up, y'all, Carl would go last in their little gangbang ordeal. And without getting too much into the next video, which you're going to have to tune in to watch, you'll find out what happened with Carl. And let's just say, Carl go hard. Pause.